Hi folks, back again with ancient cosmography. Um, I've been showing the avatars of Britain as Fingal, and I think the last video I basically showed all of this. I just was at the point of here where the hand of Finn McCool tears up a clod of earth, throws it in the Irish Sea. The hole thereby created fills with water and becomes Loch Ness, which is the biggest lake in the British Isles. And the dirt clod becomes the Isle of Man, which is right here. And these are, similar size and they're similar latitude. So, because say Aran is also a similar size as, and then Isla is bigger, and Jura is a very different shape. But those are further latitude from here. So that makes sense. And so yeah, like the Giant's Causeway, is supposed to be these hexagonal basalt volcanic columns, pillars that are found in the Isle of Staffa in front of the baby Finn avatar face, and in Bushmills, where Bushmills whiskey is from, in North Antrim. And then this is, of course, the Red Hand of Ulster. And this seems to be might be at least one iteration of the Bran and Sheolang, the dogs of Fingal, here in the Loch Lynn. And then this seems to be the cauldron of Fingal. And it's interesting that there's a story that I was reading somewhere of a cauldron in the Irish Sea between Ireland and Scotland that's shooting up all this kind of stuff out of it. And it was described as if that was the sea itself, but it may have actually been referring to this avatar. But I'll try to find that later. That was in Hamlet's Mill. It was some kind of classical, Greco-Roman writer or something. So there it is. This is zooming in on it a bit so we can see most of the details. And this is zooming out so we can see the entirety of Britain and Ireland. So this is the primary, if you're a sailor, this is the main part you need to know about if you're sailing through here. Like the main, straits of this whole area are just here between, Dover and, Normandy or whatever it is, France, and then through here, like especially between the hand and the arm here, Straits of Moyle, but also between Antrim and this other hand, and Antrim and what seems to be the blade that he cuts off his other hand with. And so I tried to make this into a rhyming poem. I haven't got a tune for it yet, but because originally all this stuff was songs, the bards. So and this is a map just showing how close Scotland is to Iceland and Greenland and Canada beyond there. It's kind of the gateway between worlds, between the underworld, which is America, the Western Hemisphere, and the in the upper world for them, at least. For us, for me, they're the underworld, but so Britain is kind of the gatekeeper of the underworld. And especially these straits, Fingal's straits. So yeah, I'll just put just put that there. With his thumb, young Fingal touched the salmon and was burned. He sucked his thumb and burned his tongue, and this is how he learned. Everything there is or was or will ever be transferred to his wisdom tooth, but then it jostled free. His dogs Bran and Sheolang went hunting in the glen, but when they found Saive the deer, they chose to be her friend. Benandonner challenged Fingal to be Lord of Air, i.e. Ireland. Benandonner's large dimensions gave Fingal a scare. Saive disguised Fingal as a baby in a cradle, telling Ben it's Fingal's son and showing he was strong and able. Seeing that the baby was the largest he had seen, Ben supposed the father must be Britain's largest being. Fingal said whoever touches Ireland first is Lord, and built a bridge from Fingal's cave to Ireland's northern shore. Ben and Fingal raced across and crushed it with their weight, but reaching out their mighty arms, they tried to seize their fate. Okay, I didn't really purposely make it like this. I'm trying to use my stupid phone app to put text in a thing, and it just did this for some reason. But it kind of works, because it's like they're reaching out their arms, here's Benandonner's arm here, and here's Fingal's arm, and they're reaching out their mighty arms to seize their fate and become Lord of Ireland. Benandonner's finger almost reached to Ireland first, so Fingal bit it off and spit it out into the surf. Fingal seized upon a desperate plan to win the race, cutting his own hand right off and hurling it with haste. It fell on Irish sand and left a bloody... Throwing it across the sea, it fell on Irish sand and left a bloody mark shaped as a gigantic hand. The hand pulled up a chunk of earth and threw it in the sea. The dirt became the Isle of Man, the whole became Loch Ness. So, yeah. It's like this part is tricky to read with the right rhythm. It's like, what is it? Throwing it across the sea, it fell on Irish sand and left a bloody mark shaped as a gigantic hand. It's like I gotta remember to take that pause after mark to make it work. Throwing it across the sea, it fell on Irish sand and left a bloody mark shaped as a gigantic hand. There you go. It's not, might not be perfect, but it's pretty fucking much, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's basically an approximation of what this originally was in Gaelic, although in the original Gaelic, it probably would have had a very specific rhythm built into it, which would have actually contained a code for the actual geography here, like of the distance and the directions, like the Aboriginal Australian song lines, dreaming tracks that are pretty similar. So there you go. There's another thing of the cauldron, these dogs, the hand, and so Bran and Sheolang, I think there's multiple avatars of them. I could be wrong. But it's interesting here, like Wikipedia land, it says Bran and Sheolang, Raven and Survivor, are the hounds of Fionn Finmacul in the Athenian cycle of Irish mythology. The dogs are described as being mostly white with purple haunches, a crimson tail, blue feet, and standing as tall as Finn's shoulders. So this is one of those islands that seems to be Bran, because right here on the exact adjacent shore is the dog stone, which is supposed to be where Bran is tied, and it's this huge stone. And so it says that I increased the saturation to really see the colors in the land, like as well as the soldiers could. The sailors could in those days. So it's true that the tail is reddish. It might not be exactly crimson, but it's clearly by any reckoning redder than the rest of the island. Dark red here. And then the haunches, purple haunches, that seems to be this area here. That's my guess. And then blue feet, that could both refer to these, and there's a bluish color right here. So maybe it's this foot, and maybe these are considered to be his feet also. I'm not sure, but I think at least this is bluish. And then the mostly white part could just mean like basically the blue parts, the green parts. But also in what may be the other avatars of these dogs up near Fingal's face, they are mostly white. So this could be actually referring to multiple avatars here.